Okay, so have you ever had that feeling, where life kind of throws a curveball and you're just like, whoa, where did that come from?
Oh, yeah,
Like
definitely.
one minute you're on top of things and the next you're face down wondering what hit you.
It's like the universe has a wicked sense of humor sometimes.
Totally. Like a project that just completely implodes. I'm talking full on crash and burn, discount firework kind of explosion.
Oof, I've been there.
Or when your bank account decides to play hide and seek and you're seriously considering bartering socks for a sandwich.
Ramen noodle budget for weeks.
Yeah, more ramen than a college dorm. But you know what? What if those moments, those times when we feel like we've totally failed, what if they're actually like secret doorways to something better?
Hmm, that's interesting.
It's like maybe there's this trick, this universal trick where if we just change how we see these setbacks, they transform from roadblocks into like stepping stones.
I like where you're going with this.
So that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. It's all about the power of perception and how it can be like your ultimate superpower when life throws those inevitable punches.
Yeah. And we could all use a bit of a superpower now and then, right?
Right, absolutely. So this isn't just some fluffy new agey kind of thing, by the way. There's this ancient idea, the Law of Polarity, that talks about this. It basically says everything in the universe exists on this kind of spectrum.
Like a sliding scale of energy.
Yeah, exactly. And the things we see as opposites, they're actually just like two sides of the same coin.
I see. Like light and dark.
Exactly. Or hot and cold. They're just different levels of intensity, but it's the same energy at its core.
That makes sense. So how does this apply to, say, success and failure?
Well, think about it. Love and hate, those are both powerful emotions, right? But they exist on the same spectrum. So maybe success and failure aren't really opposites either.
More like different points on the same journey.
Right. Different beats of the same tune. Even when you're counting pennies and praying you don't have to eat ramen again, you're still in the game.
It's like a cosmic dance with highs and lows.
Exactly. And our perception, well, that's the sneaky superpower that can turn that dumpster fire moment into a victory lap.
So how do we tap into that superpower?
It's all about how we choose to see things. Like, imagine you've got these invisible sunglasses that tint everything you see.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
It's a rainy day, right? Some people see soggy shoes and a ruined hairstyle, but others see it as nature's free car wash.
Same rain, different perspective.
Exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be the queen of focusing on the negative. Like, I remember this one presentation I gave, total flop. You could have heard a
Yeah.
pin drop. My first thought was, career over, time to become a hermit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was rough. But then I don't know what happened. Something shifted. I thought, hold on, is this really the end of the world? Or is it
Okay.
just feedback?
A chance to learn and do better next time.
Right. So instead of curling up in a ball of shame, I made a joke about the whole thing. And guess what? People actually laughed. With me, not at me.
So your perception of the situation changed the outcome.
Completely. That's when I realized perception isn't set in stone. It's something we can choose. We just have to remember we have that choice.
But it's easy to fall into negative thinking patterns, isn't it?
Oh, totally. We kind of live on autopilot sometimes, accepting these stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can achieve, like, that's just how it is, or I'm just a loser. That kind of thinking is a trap, and it all stems from perception.
So how do we break free from that trap?
It's about recognizing those thought patterns and choosing to see things differently. We move from just reacting to life to actually creating our experience.
It's about taking control of the narrative.
Exactly. And, going back to that law of polarity, if everything has an opposite, then even a super negative situation has to have the potential for its opposite, right?
Like a hidden positive side just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah. It's like a clearance sale at the universe's thrift store. You have to dig a little, but there are gems hidden amongst the, well, not so gems.
And how can we find those gems?
It takes a bit of work. You got to consciously look for the other side of the coin. Like, I've had times where I lost out on a gig and it felt like a huge setback. But then I'd purposely tell myself, okay, this isn't a closed door, it's a redirection.
A chance to find a better fit.
Totally. And you know what? More often than not, that's exactly what happened. Something way better came along. It's like when you change your focus, you open yourself up to possibilities you never even saw before.
It's like you're tuning your perception to a different frequency,
Yeah.
and that affects what you attract.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be some big dramatic thing either. It can be small shifts that make a huge difference.
Can you give an example of that?
Totally. So I have this friend, Dave. He was stuck in this dead-end job, always stressed, bills piling up. He basically thought the universe was out to get him.
I know that feeling.
Right. So one day, I'm kind of joking around and I tell him, Dave, What if all this financial stress is just the universe prepping you for something amazing?
Like a cosmic training montage.
Exactly. He kind of laughed it off, but I think something clicked. He started, almost as an experiment, seeing things differently. Every late bill became a sign that a breakthrough was coming. And guess what? Within a year, he launched this awesome side hustle.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right. He ended up quitting that soul-sucking job and is now killing it with his own business. He literally changed his life by changing how he saw his challenges.
So his perception shaped his reality.
It's like a feedback loop, right? What you focus on and believe becomes your truth. If you're convinced the world is against you, you're going to find evidence to support that. But if you start looking for the good, for the potential, your brain starts to find that too.
Like you were saying earlier with that presentation you bombed. Your perception of the situation as a learning experience, rather than a total failure, completely changed the outcome.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose our response. Like, I used to freak out if I missed a deadline. Now I take a breath and think, okay, maybe there's a reason for this. And often, that extra time leads to an even better result.
It's about finding the opportunity in the obstacle.
Right. And you know, another thing that's helped me is this idea that life is meaningless.
Whoa, hold on. That sounds kind of bleak.
No, not in a bad way. What I mean is the universe doesn't label things as good or bad. Things just happen, like a flat tire. It's not inherently bad, it's just an event. We're the ones who decide if it's a tragedy or just a minor inconvenience.
So we have the power to choose the meaning we assign to events.
Exactly. There's no cosmic puppet master deciding our fate. We have way more control than we realize. So when something challenging happens, we have this choice: whine about it or alchemize it into a badge of honor.
Turn that lemon into lemonade.
Exactly. It's all about that shift from reacting to creating. And honestly, once you start making that shift, consciously choosing how you see things, your whole world opens up. Perception truly is a superpower.
I'm really starting to see that.
Like, I saw a friend who was struggling financially make a decision to view every no as a redirection to a better yes. And within weeks, new opportunities started popping up everywhere. It's wild.
Almost like magic.
Right. And for me, I've turned missed buses into impromptu city adventures and empty wallets into treasure hunts for creative ways to make a buck. It's all about perspective.
You also talked about gaslighting yourself into victory. What did you mean by that?
Okay, I admit that's a bit of a provocative term, but it's about consciously choosing a positive spin on things, even if it feels a little silly at first.
Like finding the silver lining even when it's barely visible?
Yeah, like spilled coffee becomes a funny story. A lost deal just frees up space for something bigger and better. It's not about denying reality. It's about cultivating that unshakable belief that things always work out for the best.
So ultimately, by changing our perception, we change our reality.
Exactly. We go from being tossed around by life to becoming the captain of our own ship. We stop reacting and start creating. Every step, even a flop, becomes part of the plan. Every "roops" becomes an aha.
That's a powerful way to look at it.
So to wrap things up, remember, your perception is like your golden ticket. The law of polarity is your map, and reality is your playground.
You're giving me chills.
The next time life throws you a curveball, I want you to try to flip it. See if you can find the hidden win, the success in a bad wig, the opportunity lurking in the shadows. Remember, all is well, always.
It's a choice, not naivety.
Exactly. Choose to be an alchemist, turning those setbacks into gold. Now, before we go, for all my entrepreneurs out there, if you're ready to completely reconstruct your reality and shatter those profit ceilings, I got something special for you. We're talking about rewriting the rules of the game and building a business that bends to your will, all in 60 days. No crystals, no chants, just results.
Sign me up.
Head over to our website address to check out all the details and join the newsletter. We're all about hacking reality, minus the weird stuff.
I love it.
Until next time, keep flipping the script. The universe is watching, and it's got a front row seat